are officially going to kick off our session. And I officially would like to thank all of our volunteers and students who are joining us today. My name is Christy Bedron. I am Director of Education for Junior Achievement in New Jersey. If you hear a little background noise, I apologize in advance. I'm actually at a location where I was not able to get to my laptop in time. So you might hear a little bit of outside feedback, but so is the case with our world of remote work and learning. But we thank you so much for participating in today's session. Just a reminder, today's session is being recorded because there are many of you who will be joining us after the fact, viewing our session later. So we welcome all of you who are joining us live and who are joining us later viewing the session recording. But again, my name is Christy Bedron. I'm Director of Education at Junior Achievement New Jersey. And we are so happy that you're here joining us today for our special session all about professional business communication. And this is in partnership with our partners from Deloitte. So we have a number of volunteers from Deloitte. This is part of their annual Deloitte Impact Day, where they all of the employees involved with Deloitte have an opportunity to go out and volunteer in the community. And we have been so grateful to be part of this initiative for a number of years. So we welcome all of our volunteers from Deloitte, all of our volunteers from our other additional partnering companies, and of course, our students. So thank you so much for joining us today. So again, today we are going to be talking about a very, very important topic, business communication, which we have learned is extremely important. It's an extremely important skill, communication, even when we are working remotely, even when we are sitting behind a laptop for most of our days. Communication skills still seem to be at the forefront of the important skills that today's employers are looking for. So today we're going to be really taking a deeper dive into what those skills look like and how to develop those professional communication skills. And we will be asking our volunteers to kind of share their own information and their own expertise in that subject. So we thank you for your participation in this very, very important program. And while we are on the subject, we'd like to say a special thanks to our partners in this important initiative that allows us to bring the Women's Future Leadership Academy to students every week at no cost to themselves or their schools. So special shout out to our sponsors, MetLife, Santa Fe, CDW, Church and Dwight, Deloitte, CNBC, EY, Carney Bank, Merck, New Jersey Resources, Prudential, PSE&G, Valley Bank, and Wells Fargo. Thank you to all of you. Again, we welcome you to say hello using that chat function if you'd like, as we are doing the beginning of the session. But again, this is a welcome from JA staff. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Christy Bedron from Junior Achievement. We're going to be talking a little bit about professional business communication, what that looks like in a couple of minutes. Then around 5:30, we're going to move into breakout rooms where you'll get a chance to speak to some of our great volunteers that we have. Students and volunteers, we're going to put you together in some small breakout rooms where you'll get a chance to collaborate in those small mentoring and networking circles. And then we'll come back and bring it all together again for closing remarks right about 5 o'clock p.m. Students, if you are just joining us, we welcome you to the Women's Future Leadership Academy. This is our second year. We are so happy to be able to continue this program, which proved to be a tremendous success last year. And we invite you to continue to build your leadership skills with Junior Achievement. We have a couple great opportunities for you along the way. This year is new. You can earn Junior Achievement in New Jersey's digital badge for career readiness. This is an exciting thing that we've implemented this year. For those of you who are familiar with digital badges, perhaps our volunteers have earned their own digital badges. And if you have, we welcome you to share your own experiences with that. But digital badges are micro-credentials that you can use to share about the experiences that you've gained and the skills that you've built through this digital badge. You can post it on your LinkedIn page, on your resumes, or on your college application. So it's really a great thing for you to have. It's easier for you to earn, students, if you're participating in the Women's Future Leadership Academy. All you have to do is attend or view 5 or more of our sessions. Today certainly counts as one. complete a survey, which we will send to you, and submit a final project. So if you'd like to do that to grow your leadership skills within junior achievement and earn your digital career badge, you can do that. You can also become a WFLA student ambassador. We have many of our student ambassadors who are joining us at this session, certainly Aaliyah and Destiny Vincent who have joined. Aaliyah and Destiny are actually speaking to our board of directors tomorrow morning. So there are great opportunities for you to get more involved with junior achievement as a student ambassador. Again, we welcome you to apply for that. You can get all the information about our digital career badge and the student ambassador program right there on our website. So go ahead and go to our website, students, janjacademy.org, if you'd like to learn more. We hope that you continue to stay involved in that regard. Upcoming sessions, we have some great things coming up in the next several weeks. Next week on Wednesday, November 3rd, we have our very first executive career panel of the year. This is where we invite women leaders who are really dynamic and have achieved great success here in New Jersey from a variety of exciting companies. That's going to begin next week on November 3rd, right here at 5 p.m. with our first executive career panel. Again, students, if you're looking to earn your digital career badge, one of the requirements is you have to attend one of our career panels, which are going to be happening every month. So this is your first opportunity to participate and earn that. That is next week. We hope that you'll join us. Again, if you cannot attend at this time live, you can certainly view the recorded session when we post it later on our YouTube library. Looking ahead at the end of next week, we know that a lot of schools are closed next week for the NJAA annual convention. So if you happen to be home and would like to build your leadership skills while schools are closed at the end of next week, please join us on Friday with a special career workshop with another one of our partners, EY. That's happening next week on Friday at 1:00 p.m. Following that, we resume our regular Wednesday 5 p.m. sessions. November 10th, we have Networking with Confidence. November 17th, Leading with Innovation. Then we go into December. December 1st, we have a Women in STEM growth mindset session. So regardless of what career path you want to take, having a growth mindset is extremely important. So we hope that you will join us then. On December 8th, we will have our second executive career panel. And then finally, to round out 2021, we have our last session of the year, Financial Empowerment, on the 15th. And then we will take a break for the holidays and come back in January with all new sessions, all new opportunities to learn and build your skills. So we hope that you stay with us, students and volunteers. We'd love to have you participate. To get all the information and links to register, please visit our website, www.janjacademy.org. So going into a little bit about communication skills. Again, they are critical to business and entrepreneurial success. Communication skills affect everything. Oops, sorry about that. They affect everything from the ability to deliver effective presentations and communicate a persuasive message, to building strong working relationships with people inside and outside the organization. Communication is a sender trying to get a message across to a receiver. Medium, noise, and interpretation affect a message, and the receiver gives feedback to the sender. The sender must choose the most appropriate medium for the message. Different messages might require different mediums. So we've asked our team from Deloitte, especially John, who has worked with us for a number of years now as a partner with Junior Achievement and Deloitte, to kind of share a little bit about what you feel is important as far as communication in the business setting, and also to tell us a little bit about Deloitte and the financial services industry and what it takes to be successful in that regard. So on that note, I am going to stop sharing my screen here. And I am going to introduce our partner, John, to talk a little bit about his perspective for business communication from Deloitte. So John, I will hand it over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the introduction. First, want to thank everyone for joining us today. Hopefully it's a good session. But again, my name is John Spinzeri. I am a senior manager at Deloitte. I've been working here for a while. And one of the things I just want to go over is just, how did I become, an accountant? How to become a CPA? Well, when I was, when I was younger, when I was in, elementary school and thinking about things, we had a project that we had to do. And it was, what do you want to be when you get older? Everybody went home and they had their poster boards, and it was, NFL player, NBA player, all this and that. And I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I said, I have a, assignment I got to do. I have to put what I want to be when I get older. I said, I was thinking about a baseball player. He goes, just write down CPA on that paper and bring it in, because that's your only choice you have in life. So my dad pretty much told me from a young age that become an accountant, because if you are an accountant, you're always going to have a job. You're always going to be able to have a successful career. And it's something fun to do. It's as well. To give you a little bit of background about myself, I went to high school I grew up in Morris County. I went to Morris Knowles High School, where I went there. When I was in middle school, I was, around a BC type student. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my career path. And then I went to high school and things got a little bit better. I started thinking about things more, and then went into college. In college is when I really started to think about my career path. I went to Rutgers University. I went there. I don't consider myself one of the smartest people in the room, but I consider myself somebody who likes to work hard and dedicate myself to a goal. In college, I ended up finishing with a 3.95 GPA, which is basically straight A's except for one B. And I don't find myself smart. I find myself someone that just likes to work hard. So being a accountant isn't something that you need to be a rocket scientist to do. It's just something that you need to have, some thought process into. You want to do it, and you want to achieve your goals and work hard at it. And anybody can attain these goals. From there, I ended up getting a job at Deloitte when I was a sophomore in college. Through just meeting people. They have case competitions that I've done where you had to solve, accounting problems basically in front of a panel. My group won that. It gave me some opportunity to meet other people at Deloitte, where I was able to get a job from there. Working at Deloitte has been a great experience for myself. It's one of the things when you start working at Deloitte is you learn a lot of the stuff on the job as an accountant. Most people here think of an accountant, they think of as it's April 15th, taxes are due, you must be busy in April. My mom calls me every single year on April 14th and says, how busy are you and how excited are you to finish up with tax season? And every year I got to tell my mom, I don't do taxes. I do corporate accounting work where I go in and I do different things where I help out businesses with their financial statements as opposed to doing taxes. But it's a great thing that you can think about, because when you're an accountant, it's not just one thing. You're not just doing taxes. You're not just doing bookkeeping. You can do anything you want with accounting, which is great, which is why I like to preach to people, especially in high school and in middle school and in college, that, if you're going to school for business, and you're not sure exactly what you want to do, go into accounting, because with accounting, you can do anything you want in your career. With my time at Deloitte, it's been pretty fun for myself. I've been on multiple clients where I've got to travel and do different things. I've been on oil and gas clients where I have to go check their inventory. And how do you think you check inventory for oil and gas? It's not just looking at a reading. What you need to do is at midnight, you need to climb up a 200-foot tank and then take a fishing pole type thing, and you need to drop it down in the tank and let it roll down with somebody else, and then you wheel it back up and it tells you exactly how much oil is in those tanks. So those are the fun types of things that you get to do when you're with Deloitte. That might not sound as interesting and crazy right now, but when you're out there, these just different things that you wouldn't expect an accountant to do. When I was when people think of me as an accountant, they think of me sitting behind a desk crunching numbers on a calculator, when really I'm out in the field all the time. I'm traveling. They send us to trainings in different locations. Deloitte sends you to trainings to Texas, to Orlando, to Las Vegas. They send you all over the place to learn the new skills, learn new things. One of the things that I was, learned coming into Deloitte is you want to know as many people as you can, because it's hard to achieve things on your own. Everybody has resources that they go to. You have mentors, you have mentees, you have people you can go on. And what I've been told is your network is your net worth. It has nothing to do with, what you have, but it's more or less who you know and who you are, learning from. You want to build a network of people. Again, through my time at Deloitte, I've also been involved with the NJCPA. The NJCPA is an organization that, what they like to do is they give out scholarships to high school students. Sometimes what happens is some people like myself, we sign up when we go to high schools and explain what the accounting industry is like, similar to what I'm doing now. And it gives everyone the opportunity to write an essay basically to the NJCPA and explain, hey, what makes you want to be an accountant, and why should you be doing, why should we be giving you a scholarship? And tons of scholarships are handed out every year, and I become a mentor to the people that win these scholarships. And what I do is, throughout their high school and college career, I give them advice on what you should be doing, what classes you should be taking, who you should be talking to, when you should take your CPA exam. Does anybody here know what the CPA exam is? I will tell you. The CPA exam is your exam that you need to take to become a certified, it's become a certified professional accountant. Now, some other people might say CPA also stands for can't pass again, because when you take the test once, it's very difficult to pass it again because of all the studying that goes into it. But it is something that the CPA exam isn't a test really of your knowledge. I would say it's a test of your perseverance through studying and dedication. The smartest people I know fail that exam, and the people who have the most dedication to it are the ones who pass it. So again, the thing that I really want to reiterate to everybody and really take home to you guys is, anything you want to do in life can be attainable if you work hard at it. You can't substitute hard work and effort. And if you have both of those, you're going to succeed in no matter what you do. Hopefully, after listening to me, what you do is accounting. And if you have any questions on that, you can always come back to me. One of the other things I want to go over is, COVID came. I know that you students are sitting here, and last year you guys had to do virtual learning. This year you're in school. You have your masks on. My wife, she's a teacher, so she's doing it all the time, and you guys, are in there doing everything. What we've been doing is, we haven't been going into our clients. We've been doing everything via Zoom, like you're seeing right now. What we've been doing is, we've been talking to our clients and learning all these new technologies. Now, one of the bigger things that I want to go over with you guys is that a lot of people, when I do my NJCPA programs, it's, well, why should I become an accountant? What's this? How much do accountants get paid is what people want to know also, because that's another thing, because people just always want to know. And so one of the things I also want to explain to you guys is, what is the average income of accountants that work at a Big Four type of accounting firm? Instead of saying actual numbers. So the averages, and I went online and I pulled these open. When you start as your first level accountant, you can come in, you can start making about $70,000, which is great, because that gives you enough opportunity to move out of your family's house and start living on your own, is what my dad was very excited for when I started working here. As you move up, after your fifth year, you're over 100,000. And when you become a partner, eventually, one of these days, I hope I can achieve that goal. Partners start at about 400,000, go anywhere up into the millions. So the other benefits of just a fun experience of becoming an accountant and doing all these things that I like to do, you also get compensated for it, which is great as well. So, that's another reason why my father always pushed home to become an accountant, because it's a type of job where you just need to have hard work and dedication. You'll be successful. You'll be able to live a fun life and do all those types of things. Another thing that I want to just go over is just the communication aspect of the accounting world. I talk to people every single day, even in the COVID world right now. It's never I'm sitting in here and just doing nothing and not talking to people. I speak with new people every single day. I was speaking to the CEO of my client today. They are a dog bone company where they sell dog bones. And if you have a dog, there's a solid chance that your dog has one of their products. And I got to sit down with him today, and he explained to me the new industry that's going on in the dog industry and why things are happening. You might not think, you might think the pandemic's going on right now. Business are doing bad. Well, what's going on in the pandemic right now? Has anyone here purchased a dog in or a cat in their family, or any sort of pet in the past year, now that you're sitting home all the time? So those are the types of real world problems that are going on. Now these companies are sitting here saying, like, we thought we were going to have a big issue with this COVID situation and our sales would be down. Well, guess what? Everyone's buying dogs now. So now we need to increase capacity and increase demand and all these different types of things. And so these are all the types of things that I do on my job every single day. I'm not just crunching numbers. I'm sitting there face to face with, top people of these companies, and they are looking at myself, who is half the age of some of them sometimes, and saying, John, what do you think I should do? And it gives me the ability to, prove and show what I've learned through my career here, what I've, studied and researched, to be able to apply those types of things. And I find it as a fun project. the last thing I want to take home with you guys is what the environment is like at Deloitte. You're never on your own. The way I explain what Deloitte is like to other people is it's like similar to a group project. Think about being in a group project for, let's say, your science class. You go into science and they say, listen, we need to figure out how to do this. We're going to put you guys into groups of 4. You guys have a month to figure out this project and you guys work together on it. Okay. Now take that project and think about, who you want to be in your group. Well, everyone that works at Deloitte, they all come from the same nature. They're all hardworking. They're all dedicated. So now put yourself with another, 3 or 4 very hardworking individuals that you're working with and just bouncing ideas off of each other and then working to a similar goal. You're never by yourself. You're always working with people and there's always, somebody else helping out each other. That's what Deloitte is like. You're working in a group to achieve a goal over an extended period of time. You're never working by yourself. With that said, I wanted to, again, thank you all for coming and listening. If you guys have any questions for me, I'll be around through this thing. I know that we're going to be breaking out into groups. I will also put my email address into the chat if anyone wants to reach out and send me an email. Have any questions you guys have. And, with that said, I want to pass it back off to Christy for the other fun things that we're going to be doing in this event today. Thank you very much.
Oh, excellent. And John, thank you so much for that really great insight into your worlds of work. And certainly, all the other volunteers who have joined us today, our Deloitte volunteers and our volunteers from other organizations. I think it's so interesting how, because of COVID, we are all working remotely, but I think communication skills are even more important now than they were before. And certainly problem-solving skills and all those other things that you mentioned, being able to build those relationships, being able to work together, solve problems, be innovative, like you suggested with the whole people buying dogs during COVID kind of thing. So I think that's truly, really exciting information, and we really appreciate you sharing that with us. And certainly, I open up, later when we have our discussions, all of our volunteers who are joining us, please feel free to share your insights into your world of work, as John so beautifully did just now. So we thank you so much. And students, just so that you know, the companies that we work with are very, very in tune to their communities and feel like community engagement and giving back is important. And that's why, companies like Deloitte and our other organizations who have joined us, that's why they're here, because they understand the value of community involvement and giving back. So we appreciate Deloitte and everybody else for joining us again today for Impact Day and considering us and considering our students as we do that. So we thank you so much. And students, again, like John said, please feel free to post your comments in the chat room, and you'll have plenty of time when we go into the breakout sessions to talk to our volunteers and get your questions answered. So moving ahead, I'm going to share my screen again. And again, I am new to Zoom, so hopefully I will be able to show this okay. So if someone wants to let me know that is working okay. If you can see my screen,
Looks
please
good, Christy.
thumbs up. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Orianna. And we welcome Orianna, our fabulous intern from Princeton University, coming live from Princeton University. Is going to join us. I'm going to put Orianna on the spot later. But again, just to talk about, again, these important communication skills, which clearly continue to be the most important thing that employers are looking for. So students, regardless of your GPA or your extracurriculars or all those other things that we feel are important, guess what? In the end, it really does come down to those communication skills and how you were able to do that in the workplace. So let's talk a little bit about this communication model. And again, I'm going to go ahead and click this so we can kind of see what it looks like, what this communication model looks like. So communication skills, again, they're critical to business and entrepreneurial success. Communication is all about the sender trying to get the message across to a receiver, as you see right here. The medium, the noise, and the interpretation affect your message, and the receiver gives feedback to the sender. In turn, the sender has to choose what's the most appropriate medium for the message, and different messages might require different mediums. So let's take an example of that. Oops. Sorry, here we go. Okay, so here's an example. Jean calls her manager, Myron, to let him know that she has the flu and will not be in work today. Myron is writing an email as he talks to Jean. So he doesn't hear her say that she'll be back to work tomorrow. So the sender here, again, these are all important components to effective communication in the business world. You have the sender is Jean. The receiver is her manager, Myron. The message is she's got the flu and she won't be in work today. But here's the thing, there's a little noise going around. So the noise here is Myron. He's writing an email as he's taking Jean's call. He's taking Jean's call, but at the same time he's writing an email. And I know all of us who are volunteers, we've all done that. We've been there. Students, you too. We all try to be multitaskers, but guess what? Sometimes that really is not the best way to go. Because in this instance, that noise is affecting Myron's ability to receive that message. So he doesn't hear her say that she'll be back to work tomorrow. So that is the challenge that's coming here with this method of communication. So when we talk about communication and professionalism is often demonstrated in how people communicate with one another. The way that you communicate affects the way people perceive you. You don't communicate in a way that shows you are not courteous or empathetic or competent, you will not appear professional. So that's really the bottom line. Professionalism helps prevent conflict and creates stronger relationships with customers and coworkers. Another benefit of professionalism is increased opportunity. Employees who are viewed as professional tend to have more opportunities to advance within the company. So let's take a closer look at what that looks like. So when we think about professionalism, these are the skills and qualities that come to mind. Being courteous, being dependable, being respectful, empathetic, trustworthy, competent, and cooperative. And again, some great stuff. Listening is important too. So taking a look at this slide, I invite all of our participants, volunteers, and students. If you feel like there is one of these skills or habits of mind that align to professionalism that you feel like you are good at, one of your strengths, please post that in the chat room. Let's share with everybody else. Go ahead and brag. If you are courteous, if you feel like you're dependable, if you're one of those folks that's empathetic, if you are trustworthy, if people have said that you are competent, please go ahead and post that in the chat room. Brag about yourselves. This is the time to do it. We love that. Thank you. Samantha, you're empathetic. Madeline, competent. Sydney, respectful, cooperative. That's great. Let's see what else we have. Aaliyah, trustworthy. Kim, trustworthy. Excellent. Priya, competent, empathetic, respectful. Oriana, courteous. Great, great, great. So go ahead and keep sharing that. Italia, courteous, empathetic, competent. Destiny, respectful. Ava, trustworthy. Again, why are these things important? Because that shows that you are professional. Do you have to have straight A's to be trustworthy? Do you have to be the captain of your team to be respectful? No. These are things that all of us can seek to grow and build within ourselves. And this is what translates to professionalism. So keep on doing that. Those of you who have posted, excellent, I love it. Jacqueline, respectful. Aaliyah, respectful. Good stuff, everybody. So let's go on to our breakout session. So volunteers, students, now is the time where we are going to go into our small group breakouts. And this is what we're going to do. So our volunteers, students, I'm going to put you in small groups in just a moment. And we're going to have you have some conversations around business communication, professionalism, what that looks like. So we talked a little bit about the medium, about the messenger, and about the person that you intend for that message to go to. And again, the person that's getting that message could be, there's a wide variety of people. So how you share that message does depend a lot on the person that is the receiver. So we have two scenarios here that I'm going to ask you to have conversations with in a moment in your breakout rooms. But you notice the receiver is different in both of these two scenarios. So if you see the receiver in workplace scenario 1, and students and volunteers, again, I invite you to use the chat room. Who is the receiver in workplace scenario 1? Who is the receiver of that message that you're trying to send? You can, if you see that, go ahead and post that in the chat room. Who is the receiver in workplace scenario 1 here? Okay, very good, very good. That is your boss. So the receiver here is your boss or the owner. Workplace scenario 2, if anybody can take a look at that and see what's the difference between the receiver in scenario 1, the owner, and the receiver in scenario 2. Who is the receiver in scenario 2, everybody? I invite you to post your answer to that. The receiver in scenario 2. Yes, the manager. Very good. So we have two different receivers. Workplace scenario 1, your receiver is the owner. Workplace scenario 2, your receiver is your manager. So there is a difference between the owner and the manager. Sometimes it's the same person, but sometimes it's not. So when we are going to the breakout rooms, I invite our mentors to kind of explain the difference. If you're talking to your owner, the company's owner, versus if you're talking to the company's manager. And I see a lot of volunteers saying, yes, there is a big difference here, how you're going to talk to a manager versus talking to an owner. So certainly keep that in mind. But here are our two scenarios, and I'll read them again. I'll give everybody a moment to read that to yourselves as well. Scenario 1, you have an idea for how the juice bar you work and can use the pulp from juicing fruits and vegetables to make muffins. You are sure that this will save the business money and boost sales. What is the best way to communicate your idea to the owner? And then the second workplace scenario here, your manager has given your team a specific time frame to complete a project. As the deadline approaches, you can tell that the work is not going to be completed on time. How would you communicate this to your manager? So two very different scenarios here. I am going to leave this up for a moment while we contemplate that before we go into our breakouts, but I'm going to take a moment to introduce our intern, Orianna Nelson, while we are looking at this. So Orianna Nelson is our intern. Again, she was a junior achievement high school hero as a student from Piscataway High School. She has now joined us. This is her second year as an intern with the Influence Future Leadership Academy. Did I mention she's a student at Princeton University? So Orianna, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and unmute yourself and share a little bit with the students and the volunteers about your own thoughts about business communication, some of the things we've talked about, and maybe any experiences that you've had speaking to your teachers or your professors or people in the college setting. And while you're doing that, I'm going to leave the screen up, and so all of us can take a look at these questions, and I'm going to arrange all of us in breakout rooms. So Orianna, I hand it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Christy, for the great intro. I'm very excited to be here, and I hope you are all doing well. As Christy said, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience personally communicating with people who are higher up than me, such as teachers, professors, managers, bosses, and people of that sort of nature. And personally, as a student, I know there are multiple times when you have to communicate with your teacher, and being able to have email etiquette is very important. First things first, teachers want to be addressed. They're humans. It's not like you're writing to a friend. It's very important to be like, hello, good morning, Mr., Mrs., Miss, Doctor. So make sure you get the right title for whoever you are referring to. And then also making sure when you actually get to the body of what you need to say, you proofread it. Just make sure that your message is clear. and that ensure you put the effort and time of day to make sure that as message you're trying to get across is professional. And then on top of that, you want to make sure at the same time that it's concise as well. Teachers are very busy people. A lot of the time, they don't want to spend a long time reading a huge paragraph and have other assignments to grade and things of that nature. I know my mom's a teacher personally, so try to make sure it's concise, free of errors, and then also it's really important to have a closing statement or having a closing remark. So I tend to use best, Orianna, but you can also use sincerely, warm regards, of things of that nature as well, just to, add it or sign off in a very polite manner. And with the qualities Kirsty had up on the screen earlier, one of the qualities that spoke to me the most was courteous. I always try to be very polite in my emails, tell them have a nice day. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your energy. It's really important that, to recognize that. Just to get that respect, I think it's really important to make sure that is established in every conversation that you have. One thing that I think is interesting is that, like in college, there's some professors who do use their first name. So I personally make sure to ask a professor if they prefer their first name or they prefer their last name, or if they're doctors, make sure I use that correct title once again, because they work really hard for the doctorate degrees. It's important to make sure that is acknowledged. And generally speaking, it's very important to use vocabulary that you will not use with your friends. It's not relaxed, always going to be a relaxed environment, especially when you're talking to managers and bosses. You really want to make sure you sound professional, use really good vocabulary. And so before, make sure you get your message across in a concise manner. And I'm pretty sure that's all I have. I don't know if you need extra time, Christy. I'm glad to say anything else or any advice I can offer if more time's needed.
Right. No, that's fantastic. And thank you so much, Orianna, for always sharing your expertise. We really appreciate it. So,
of course.
On that note, and again, if you have questions for Orianna, we welcome you to post that in the chat room. Orianna is really great about getting back to students. So, volunteers, here we go. So, did all of our volunteers, hopefully you got an opportunity to take a look at these two scenarios. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start our breakout sessions in a moment. There should be at least one volunteer in every breakout room. So volunteers, please take the initiative, introduce yourselves in your breakout room. And we're just going to have a conversation. So talk a little bit about your own experience with communication in a business setting. If there are anything that you learned, any advice that you have, certainly we've all been able to learn some things, sometimes the hard way, is in regards to business communication and what that looks like, how to be professional at work, and then take turns, answering some of these questions. Pick one or two of the scenarios and how you're going to communicate that message to either your owner or to the manager. We're going to give everybody about 15 minutes to have those conversations. And then we are going to come back right here in our breakout room. So if anybody has any questions before we start, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and start our breakout rooms in just a moment. So I'll leave it open for questions. Aaliyah, I see you raised your hand. Do you have a question, Aaliyah? You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask.
Yes. So are we like using the qualities we just looked at?
Yes, absolutely. You can look at those qualities you just looked at. Certainly they are a talking point. You can share those qualities. If you posted a quality in the chat room, you can certainly share that with the other folks in your breakout room as you're going through these scenarios. Again, this is just an informal conversation. Mentors, we encourage you to take the lead. We have some fabulous students here who are interested in learning from all of you. Just some small group mentoring circles. So thank you so much for that great question. Anyone else have any questions before we start the breakout rooms? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open these rooms. Just follow the prompt on your screen. Enjoy your conversations, and we will see you back here in about 15 minutes.